Have you ever gazed out at the vast, endless ocean and wondered, what if it was all gone? Just like that, overnight. It sounds like a scene from a disaster movie, right? But let's dive into this mind-bending hypothetical. What would really happen to our planet if all the oceans suddenly dried up? Spoiler alert. It would be an apocalypse on a scale we can't even imagine. Stick with me, because the consequences are more shocking than you think. First, let's address the most immediate and terrifying change: the weather. Oceans are the planet's massive climate regulators. They absorb and store enormous amounts of solar heat, distributing it around the globe through currents. Without them, this system would collapse instantly. The equator would become an unbearable furnace, with temperatures soaring to scorching, unsurvivable levels. Meanwhile, the poles would plunge into a deep freeze, becoming far colder than they are today. We'd be living on a planet of extreme, deadly temperatures, with no middle ground. And that's just the beginning. The water cycle as we know it would cease to exist. Oceans are the primary source of the water that evaporates, forms clouds, and falls as rain. No oceans, no rain. Rivers and lakes would quickly dry up, turning continents into vast, barren deserts. The lush green landscapes we know would wither and die, replaced by endless stretches of dust and cracked earth. Every single plant, from the mightiest redwood to the smallest blade of grass, would perish. This would trigger a catastrophic domino effect. With all plant life gone, the very air we breathe would become toxic. Plants and phytoplankton in the ocean are our planet's lungs, producing more than half of the world's oxygen through photosynthesis. Without them, oxygen levels would start to plummet. At the same time, carbon dioxide, the greenhouse gas they absorb, would build up in the atmosphere at an alarming rate. We'd be facing a double threat: suffocation from lack of oxygen and being cooked by a runaway greenhouse effect. The sky would likely turn a murky, brownish yellow, choked with dust and CO2. And what about life? The initial disappearance would cause the single largest mass extinction event in Earth's history. Every marine creature, from the blue whale to the tiniest plankton, would be gone in an instant. The ocean floor would become a massive global graveyard, littered with the remains of countless species. On land, the collapse would be just as swift. Herbivores would starve without plants, and carnivores would follow soon after. The entire food web would disintegrate within weeks, if not days. Humanity's fate would be sealed. Our coastal cities, home to billions, would suddenly be perched on the edge of colossal, empty canyons, thousands of meters deep. But that would be the least of our worries. Without water to drink or grow crops, society would collapse into chaos. Famine and thirst would be universal. The air would become unbreathable, and the extreme temperatures would make survival impossible outside of highly specialized, sealed habitats which we simply couldn't build fast enough. It would be a desperate, short-lived struggle for survival on a dying world. Now, let's explore the newly exposed ocean floor. It wouldn't be a smooth, sandy basin. We'd see a landscape more dramatic than anything on land. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a massive underwater mountain range, would be revealed in its full glory, towering over the abyssal plains. We'd see deep-sea trenches like the Mariana Trench as unfathomably deep canyons, plunging over 11 kilometers down. The ocean floor would also be a treasure trove of geological wonders and human history. We'd find countless shipwrecks, from ancient galleons to modern cargo ships, perfectly preserved in the now dry abyss. We'd also discover new volcanoes, hydrothermal vents, and bizarre geological formations that have been hidden from us for millions of years. But this new, exposed land would be incredibly dangerous. The immense pressure that once held the seafloor in place would be gone. This sudden release of pressure would trigger unprecedented geological instability. We're talking about massive earthquakes shaking the former coastlines, and volcanic eruptions on a scale never seen before, spewing ash and toxic gases into our already failing atmosphere. The dried ocean basins themselves would be covered in a thick layer of salt and marine sediment. Powerful winds, no longer moderated by the ocean, would whip this salty dust into colossal global dust storms, further choking the atmosphere and making the surface even more inhospitable. In essence, if the oceans dried up overnight, Earth would transform into a planet more like Mars or Venus, a dead, sterile rock. The vibrant blue marble we call home would become a silent, dusty, brown sphere. It's a terrifying thought, but it highlights just how vital our oceans are. They are not just large bodies of water. They are the lifeblood of our planet, regulating our climate, providing our oxygen, and sustaining the web of life. They are the heart of Earth, and without them, the heart stops beating. This scenario underscores the critical importance of protecting our oceans. While they won't disappear overnight, they are under threat from climate change, pollution, and overfishing. Thinking about this extreme what if puts our current challenges into perspective and reminds us that we have a responsibility to be stewards of this incredible planet. Thank you so much for joining me on this rather apocalyptic journey. What other mind-bending hypotheticals should we explore next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content that makes you think, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.